This is Martin Brodeur. He's a Hall of Famer and won 4 Vezina trophies. He helped lead the New Jersey Devils to 3 Stanley Cups, and along the way, he's won more games than anyone else in NHL history. The league even had to change the rules just to help contain this guy. So, just how good was Martin Brodeur actually? Martin grew up in Montreal, Quebec, with his parents and 4 siblings. His dad, Dennis, first introduced him to hockey when he was a little boy. Dennis played for Team Canada in the 1956 Olympics.
Hockey be in the blood. I'm talking about in the line every time.
And went on to become the beloved photographer for the Montreal Canadiens. This allowed a young Martin to attend Canadian home games and practices with his dad. The lucky youngster was able to get up close and personal with players and specifically idolize their goalie, Patrick Waugh. We're lucky
Patrick Waugh! I wish they got to do a video on Patrick Waugh, but I had to do my boy Martin because my boy in the comments said I had to do him, so I had to do him next. But we're gonna watch Patrick Roy next. Then we're gonna watch the highlights or a doc. Let me know in the comments which one should I watch.
Even graced us in the net to begin with. When he first started playing, he was actually a forward. Then, one day, a coach asked him if he wanted to try goaltending, and he jumped at the opportunity. A decision that panned out pretty well for him. Brodeur was an innovator between the pipes. He showcased a hybrid style of goaltending, standing more upright than the other, more conventional butterfly-style goalies around the league. With quick reflexes, strong positional play, and fantastic stick handling skills, he was a standout in the Quebec Major Junior League. Brodeur made his NHL debut in 1991, after spending most of the season with the Laser in the QMJHL. He was called up to the big show on an Immerse the Season with the Laser in the QMJHL.
What's that mask right there? What's that mask his daddy holding? Is that the mask they used to have? That's crazy.
He was called up to the big show on an emergency basis. Now, 2 starting goalies for the Devils had been injured, and his services were required. That first season, he managed to play in a total of 4 games. He won his debut against the Boston Bruins and even got to play in a playoff game. It wasn't much, but Marty was able to get his feet wet at the top level. A small token that can go a long way in building one's confidence and readiness for the NHL. After spending the following season in the AHL with the Utica Devils, Brodeur was finally ready to shine. The year was 1993. He got his chance and absolutely ran with it. Not only did he take home some hardware by winning the Calder Trophy as the league's best rookie, the team had a great deal of success on the ice. They ultimately lost Game 7 to the New York Rangers in the Eastern Conference Finals, but Marty ended the season with 27 wins and 11 losses. More importantly, the playoff push left no doubt with the Devils Nation. Brody was the real deal.
Do the goalies not play every game? Or do they play like half a season?
He was here to stay, and he would be the starting goalie for many years to come. The upward momentum continued for Brodeur the following season. Although the NHL schedule was shortened from the lockout, it was no less memorable for the Jersey Devils. They qualified for the playoffs and defeated the Bruins in the first round, thanks to 3 sensational shutouts by the Tendy. The Penguins and then the Flyers were dispatched next. In the championship, Brodeur was facing a juggernaut of a team, the Detroit Red Wings. It didn't faze Marty one bit, as he stood on his head the entire time. The Devils were able to sweep the Red Wings right out of the series, and the New Jersey Devils won their first Stanley Cup championship in their 21st season of existence. The team was led by Captain Scott Stevens, and Claude Lemieux was named MVP.
Claude Lemieux! See, Scott Stevens, we did a video on. Hold on. So Martin was on a team with the murderer with the assault man, Scott Stevens. That's crazy. Claude Lemieux. I ain't do a video on Claude Lemieux. I don't know who Claude Lemieux is. But bro, Martin was on a team with Scott Stevens. That's insane.
But it was Martin Brodeur posting a minuscule 1.67 goals against average throughout the postseason who played one of the most important roles in winning the Stanley Cup. At this point, Brodeur had a chokehold on the starting goalie position in New Jersey. He played in 77 of the team's 82 games following their first championship. a trend that would become very popular for the Quebec native.
77.
Marty started nearly 70 games or more in each season for the next 12 seasons straight. He accrued some of the most incredible stats ever. 8 times in his career, he finished with more than 40 wins.
So is goalies not known for playing a lot of games? Like, I guess that's the thing. They don't play a lot. Why though? I don't understand it.
Which is light years ahead of anybody else. It's just incredible. Marty was rock solid, and with a tough, gritty team in front of him that focused on defense, the future was very bright. Brodeur's 4th season with the club was in 1996 to 97. He had 37 wins and 14 losses with a dazzling 1.88 goals against average, and then followed that season up with another sensational season.
See, he
amassed
flashy
43
as like
wins
Dominic
and 17 losses and posted another goals against average of 1.89. Unfortunately, bowl season ended with disappointing losses in the playoffs. The 1998-99 season was a similar story as the Devils made the postseason but ended with another first-round loss in the playoffs. Brodeur added 39 more wins to his total and made his 4th straight All-Star team, but it wasn't meant to be. The following season, however, the team struck gold again. Brodeur finished with 43 wins in the regular season, tying his career best and catapulting the team to their 2nd Stanley Cup championship.
They won that thing again?
There was no denying that Brodeur was firmly entrenched as one of the league's best goaltenders. After winning their 2nd Stanley Cup in 6 years, the Devils found themselves right back in the finals the following year. Marty had 42 more wins and brought his Devils back to the finals where they faced the Colorado Avalanche. The Devils were so close, as they were up 3 games to 2, but lost back-to-back games in 6 and 7. Damn. Ironically, Brodeur's childhood idol was named MVP as he was in net for the Avalanche and played magnificently in front of his predecessor.
That's crazy. That's insane. So I gotta do a video on Petro Wall now. I gotta watch his highlights or something, bro. Cause it's like I did a video on the game when he left. Like I did a video on that, but I didn't do a whole video on Petro Wall. But yeah, I know Dominic Hasek is my GOAT though.
It was an absolute battle for the ages. Another season went by that saw Brodeur dominate. He signed a lucrative new contract in the offseason and kept the goalie in New Jersey for the next 5 years. It paid him close to $5 million per year. Now, the 02-03 season was a special one. Brodeur finally won his first Vezina trophy, an award that was long overdue to the 3-time champion.
Stop playing with
That's right, the Devils went on and won their 3rd Stanley Cup in less than a 10-year period, officially entering themselves into the category of a dynasty. Unknown at the time, but this was the end of the championship run for Brodeur and the Devils. Despite finishing in 1st and 2nd place a handful of times, they never made it back to the promised lands. Marty certainly had more amazing seasons, winning all kinds of personal accolades and setting numerous records that still hold up today. Unfortunately, he was never able to hoist another Stanley Cup. But he was able to win 4 Vezina trophies in a 5-year period. Just an astounding feat for a man who played more NHL minutes than any other goalie in history.
Come on, man.
Brodeur's collection of records is awe-inspiring. He has played more games and won more games than any other goalie in history. Marc-Andre Fleury is the only current goalie anywhere near Brodeur's records, but at 39 years old, the aging Fleury will be hard-pressed to play enough games to overtake either record.
That's crazy.
Interestingly enough, the top 4 goalies on the list of most games played and most game wins are all Quebec natives. Roberto Luongo, Patrick Waugh, and Marc-Andre Fleury all hail from the same place as Brodeur. Makes you wonder what's in the water up there in Quebec. These records will be extremely hard to break, given the rest periods that goalies demand nowadays. As we mentioned earlier,
that's what I'm saying, though. They be resting. Like, what's up with that? The rest period, but they get tired, man. What's up? Somebody gotta let me know what's up with that rest period. In the opener,
Brodeur was such a dynamic and skillful player that the NHL had to actually change the rules to curtail his success. His stick handling skills were second to none, but the NHL wanted to produce more offensive scoring chances. Their solution was to set up the trapezoid behind the goal line, not allowing goalies to possess the pucks in these restricted areas. This allowed offensive forecheckers to get loose pucks in the corners that would have been controlled by the goalie. It was apparent that hockey games were starting to look more like tennis matches than hockey games. Some goalies like Brodeur would utilize their superior stick handling skills and use it perfectly to their advantage. With the trapezoid developed, goalies were no longer able to contain the puck for the defenseman. It was pretty much a direct shot at Brodeur, as it was called the Brodeur Rule. Marty may not have been the only goalie to use stick handle to corral dump-ins, but he was guilty of it more than any other player, so let's just consider it a compliment for Marty. His 125 shutouts and total time on ice are so far ahead of his next closest person. His 48 wins in a season is tied with Braden Holtby of the 2015-16 Washington Capitals for the most wins in a single season. The 78 games he played in 2006 and 2007 were the second most ever, just one behind Grant Fuhr. Brodeur actually cracked that top 10 list 4 times because in 3 other seasons he finished with 77 games played. Brodeur has also been credited with 3 total goals in his career, which is an NHL record. Although only one of those goals came directly off his stick, the record still holds true and is a very impressive accomplishment. On top of all the NHL honors, Brodeur has done some amazing things at the international level. He made 4 different Olympic teams for Canada and is the only Canadian goaltender to do so, securing 2 gold medals for Team Canada, winning one first in 2002 in Salt Lake City and then again in 2010 in Vancouver. So, just how good was Martin Brodeur? He was one of the most trustworthy goalies to ever put on the pads. He played more minutes and won more games than anyone else and will forever be remembered as a legend. His 3 championships are a testament to the mastery of his position. It's doubtful that his records will ever be broken due to the new era of hockey that coach.
I ain't gonna lie, when you a statue guy, when you got you a statue, you're different. Nigga put a statue in the stadium of you, bruh. That's different. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Where I got him right now, time, it's hard for me to put him over Dominic, bro. It's just the style Dominic had, bro. Just like it's hard for me to put a lot of people over Pavel. Only person I can put over Pavel is Gretzky, gang. I'm sorry, it's the only one. The only one. I can't put nobody else over Pavel, bro. I'm sorry. But look, man, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I'm going to watch Patrick Wall next. But let me know, should I watch his highlights or a documentary, like a documentary of his stats and stuff like that, like this one right here. Let me know in the comments. But look, I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Y'all already know what's going on, man. No